My dad taught me a very important and valuable lesson. My dad taught me how to ride a bicycle. I still remember how he was teaching me. I was around 4 or 5, struggling very much. I wasn't the smartest and or fastest in the bunch, and I struggled learning just about everything when I was little. My dad was so loving and so patient with me. He was teaching me day by day. He taught me until I finally learned. I could get up on bike and get going easily, no problem, but I kept falling off when underway. Once underway, I was always looking down at the front wheel of the bicycle. And when you do that, you don't steer bicycle. The bicycle steers you, and you just follow it, and it messes you up, and you lose control, and you balance, and you fall down. I remember my dad was running along as I got off. Every time I got going and screaming, "Look up! Don't look down! Look up! Look ahead of you! Look ahead of you!" But I was so fearful. I thought that if I lose sight of my first front wheel of the bicycle, I'd immediately fall. And, sure enough, I kept falling anyway, looking at the front wheel of the bicycle. And soon enough, miracle happened. I actually looked up one moment, took the sight of the front wheel of my bicycle, and I stopped falling off. I think most of you know the feeling that feeling when for the first time, you start riding the bicycle and you don't fall down. It's like, wow, this is joy. So I started looking ahead and seeing where I was going. I was in charge. I was steering my bicycle. He stopped steering me. My dad taught me one of the most important and valuable lessons in my life: to look ahead, to see and be aware what's coming your way. I used that lesson thousands of times throughout my life. Same thing, applies when you start driving. You don't look at the steering wheel or in front of your car, right in front. You look ahead, you look forward, you see what obstacles come your way. And same thing applies to everything about planning your education, going to college, planning your career, planning your life in general. That is the very basic principle of success in life. If you want to be successful, if you want to be happy, if you want to go places, then look up and look far ahead of you. If you want to be in a driver's seat and steer around what your life throws at you, and it's gonna throw quite a bit, let me assure you, then you look up and look ahead. That way, you steer around those obstacles. And if you concentrate on your front wheel of your bicycle and you look down in front of you, life will surely steer you, and you're not going to be happy. Thank you for the lesson, Dad. Today, it looks like many Russians have failed to learn that lesson, and they're looking at that front wheel right now, and they will definitely fall off the bicycle real hard. Hey, we all learn a lesson. I learned it at the age of 4, and many Russians are gonna learn this lesson just about today or very soon. Howdy, howdy. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where I give you news updates that I find important, that I think explain what's really happening inside Russia today. What you will not find on this channel is propaganda, lies, and BS. What you will find is truth, logic, and common sense. And you will find quite a bit of emotions because I am a human being. Inside Russia is where usual Russia explained by the unusual Russian. First 30 minutes, I deliver my daily message, and after, if you want, you can continue and participate in a live stream chat, conversing, commenting, and asking questions. So, let's jump right into it, into today's message. Before I reveal message of today's stream, I would like to teach you a little tiny lesson in economics. Just bear with me, and a little bit after you will understand why I am doing this. Do you know the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics? I do. I studied economics in 2 universities in 2 countries, and I deal with economic rules every single day, so let me give you the heads up. Microeconomics is the study of how individual actors, economic actors, make choices in response to changes in incentives, prices, resources, and or methods of production. In simple language, microeconomics studies how individuals react to changes around them. How individuals make economic choices based on what? So the focus is on behavior of individuals. Macroeconomics, on the contrary, is a study on how the overall economy behaves. Macroeconomics examines economy-wide phenomena such as inflation, price levels, rate of economic growth, national income, gross domestic products, GDP, changes in unemployment, and stuff like that. Some of the key questions addressed by microeconomics include: what causes unemployment? What causes inflation? What creates or stimulates economic growth? Or what doesn't stimulate or works against it? Macroeconomics attempts to measure how well economy is performing, understand what forces drive it, and project how performance can be improved. That's macroeconomics. So macroeconomics, again, focuses on economy as a whole. In college, economic students were considered very boring. More boring are the ones that studied law and accounting. Okay, so enough of this boring stuff. Let's get to the more interesting stuff. And you know what? Without further ado, let's jump right into the interesting stuff. Now, where it picks up. I got hold of a conversation with a Russian fella today that reminded me both lesson that my dad taught me, the microeconomics and macroeconomics. Without further ado, let me quote this guy, and I leave his speech unchanged, So I quote, "It's hard to say. The capacity is definitely there. As you know very well, the Russian army has been using mostly old equipment and armament, only reserving guided missiles for a select few targets. The notion most people here in Russia is that we're being too careful and we're holding back too much because we don't want to be associated with a scorched earth approach that other big armies use. I don't know the reason why our military command has done things in this way, but it is a fact, nonetheless, that we haven't taken out bridges, railroads, etc., which are being used to bring in new weapons from Europe." And he's talking about Ukraine. Well, obviously, this guy is A, very mistaken of Russian army capabilities, and I'm putting it in a very mild words, and B, feels sorry that Russia is being too careful in Ukraine. Bombing civilian targets, killing thousands of innocent people, is, according to him, called being too careful. I'm not here to discuss the military stuff, so let's move on. I quote, "Life in the big cities is still completely normal. Nothing has changed in the last year, except maybe our mental model. We no longer look at the US and the EU as potential allies." Whew. At first, I thought the guy was smoking something real strong. You know what? Then I learned that he really believed what he was saying. I learned a bit of his background, and it made me start thinking. He grew up in the USA. He was born in Russia, but grew up in the USA. He had double citizenship, Russian and American. Obviously, he went to school in the USA, came back to Russia at the age of 18, went to Russia's number one university, gave up his American citizenship. His parents are wealthy. They gave him a business. He is well off today, residing in the southwest, right outside Moscow, in a place that we call Russian Beverly Hills. To this guy, nothing has changed in the last year. The war has been raging with Ukraine. Russia has been attacking Ukraine. Hundreds of thousands of Russian people have been mobilized. God only knows how many people have been killed on the Russian side and on the Ukrainian side. Hundreds of thousands. How many civilians have been killed? How many mothers have been left without children, children without parents? But to this guy, nothing has changed. Life is completely normal. It's, far away hypothetical. The US and the EU aren't potential allies, but most likely enemies. But they're just too far away, and life is so normal. It hasn't changed. And you know what? Many, many, many Russians think exactly the same way. For many Russians, life hasn't changed much. There are those who are mostly live in the big cities, work for the government, get paid by the government, and have businesses somehow connected with the government. They are, teachers, doctors, firefighters, police officers, the army, scientists, government officials, university professors, and staff, and everyone who works for local governments and the federal government, for all branches, okay? And there are over 35 million people in Russia right now who, in one way or another, work for the government. Therefore, they get paid from the government. It's about half of working population in Russia. There are about 70 million people, give or take. Considering millions of Russian citizens who have recently fled Russia, the ones who get paid by the government are the majority of the working population now. And in their life, not much has changed. They still get paid by the government. They still have, their incomes mostly unchanged. They're still employed. They still get paid on time. If they go to shopping mall, there'll be fewer people there because not too many people can afford stuff. Not all work for the government. And in quite a few millions of other people's life has changed actually to the worse economically. But hey, what do they care? It's just fewer people in the shopping malls. It's great, less people. When they drive, there's less traffic on the roads because, fewer people drive these days. It's great. What else has changed? Well, prices have gone up 20%, 30% for food, for everything, but we can deal with them, they think. Not much has changed. And this is where I remember my father's lesson to always look ahead and of micro and macroeconomics that I learned in schools. These people are acting as if they live in small bubbles, and their bubbles don't depend on anything else. They're completely independent, they're completely alone, and that's it. They've got to stop looking, they're looking down at the front wheel of their bicycle, okay? Um, they've got to stop looking down at the front wheel. They've got to look up and see what's up ahead of them. And that, what's up ahead, it's already up there in their faces. That's not too far away. They have got to stop thinking microeconomics and they start in as their lives, and they have start thinking macroeconomics. Life in big cities is still completely normal. Nothing has changed in the last year. What? I'm gonna give you all three things, and three things only, and there are many more things like this. But three things that have changed macroeconomics of Russia. It's a done deal. It's been changed already. The changes in macroeconomics are actually quite inert. So it takes months for them to start, for things to start change. But the changes have started already. They are in our faces, okay? Number one, lost revenues from natural gas and oil in Russia. Overall, it's a financial catastrophe in Russia. A huge blow to the revenues of, the state budget. Up to 40% of Russia GDP just wiped out. We're gonna look at the end of this year, in the beginning of the next year, how much of a GDP loss it'll be, but it's gonna be huge. It's a catastrophe. The head of a natural gas company came out today and said, you know what? Russia's gonna have all the gas it wants for a very long time, because he understands very well how much his sales have dropped, and that's the only company that owns and sells natural gas in Russia. So this is a catastrophe. Number two, complete isolation. Scientific, industrial, technological, education, cultural, financial, foreign investors, all of them, not most, not some, not few, all of them have left Russia, taking their capital, technologies, employees, everything away with them. Over 1,000 large corporations, foreign corporations, have left Russia, and they are still leaving because the West is applying secondary sanctions onto the companies who are still working in Russia. Over 1,000 large companies like Siemens, General Electric, Bosch, you name it, just huge companies have left already. Capital outflow in 2022 out of Russia was phenomenal, amounting to hundreds of billions of dollars. That's capital lost. It's not coming back, okay? That's number two. And number three is over 2 million into, some experts say 3 million people. The best, most efficient, courageous, adventurous, entrepreneurial Russians, professionals left the country for good. The cream of the crop, the best of the best, people who were generating value, creating products, and generating taxes in Russia, gone. Up to, anywhere from 2 to 3 million people. That is just a catastrophe, humanitarian catastrophe for Russia. In the long term, Russia is going to feel this for decades to come. And if any one of these things happens to any country, it's not business as usual after all. In Russia, it has happened all at once, and some on top of this, things smaller ones I don't even talk about, but they also contribute to this general economic catastrophe. And Russians are still looking like nothing has changed. So many of them. Stop looking at micro, start looking at macroeconomics, and it'll explain you everything. Just apply one of those big things, project it onto the economy, and you will be horrified. One, but you have so many. And you still think that business as usual, nothing has changed? And you graduated from one of the top Russian schools? Take your eyes off the front wheel and look what's up ahead. Yet over 35, and I think in reality there's many, many more than 35 million, and 50, 60. Russians think that nothing has changed. Well, guess what, folks? We all learn our lessons. It's just no way around it. It's just some of us learn at age 4, some of us learn at age 44, and some of us learn at age 64, and sometimes even 74. But we all learn. We all learn always. And it's just the bigger we grow, the harder we fall off our bicycles. Millions of Russians will fall off their bicycles very soon with a huge, big bang. Because they still think that 1 year of war that Russia has been waging on Ukraine, that hundreds of thousands of people died, that Russia has alienated itself from the international community, and they still think that nothing has changed. Oh boy. Dad, thank you so much for the lesson at age 4. Folks, this has been my message for today. Thank you so much for coming, giving me a chance, watching and listening. I would like to invite you to continue watching and conversing in the comments. Please let me know what you think. Give me feedback. Ask me questions. I'll try to answer. And nice words would be nice. Before I turn on the comments, I'm asking you to do a few things. First, if you found what I just said valuable or interesting, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss more updates like this in the future. You will not miss more updates like this in the future. And please help me spread my message by making reposts in your social media accounts, and sign up for my Telegram channel called Inside Konstantin's Russia. The link down below in the description after the end of the stream, so you won't miss any announcements, updates, and extra material about this channel. Thank you so much. Still not feeling too great. A little sweating, but I'll try to hang on through the comments. I think it's gonna be all right. Chat is on. If you're not seeing it, please refresh your page like I'm doing right now, and you will see the chat appearing. Hang on 1 second, please. There you go. Very unusual setup for me, because I've put the camera, if you noticed, a little closer. See how it works out. Lorna, Mommy, howdy, the mods, Harry Potman, Black Cat, Bob S, Amir is here, no? probably will join later. And the usual suspects, thank you for joining. Thanks for coming. If you want me to notice your comment or question, please put it in caps and put inside rush after @ so it jumps into my eyes in large orange box. Thank you so much. So I'll be going through the ones in caps and with orange boxes. Just like Tupla Lusto said hello from Finland. Howdy, howdy. Steve Smith, thanks for the first super chat. Half Russian, have you considered stockpiling Adidas tracksuits as possible as an investment should Mafia come back? Microeconomics, then move down under. Steve, I'm not sure I understood. Well, we have plenty of Adidas tracksuits here in Tashkent. Doesn't make any sense to stockpile them. I think I'm gonna go bust if I do that. Mafia is definitely not coming back here in Uzbekistan and has different problems, but not Mafia. Microeconomics, then move down under. Down under to Australia or down under 6 feet under? Which way? I don't understand. I'm sorry, I'm probably being a little slow because I'm still not feeling 100%. Steve Smith again. Sorry, inside Russia. Okay, well, good. At least now I know that I'm okay because I thought I'm half Russian all of a sudden. Maybe something's changed, Brian Struvig, thank you for giving gift of sponsorship to 10 people. Thank you from me and from 10 people. Today is Friday, and you know what? Honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna make the stream tomorrow, personal stream for patrons and sponsors. If I feel like I can do that, I will, but I can't promise for the first time. If I don't do it tomorrow, I'll make it up to you somehow with a video or something like that. But I usually do a private stream every Saturday for sponsors and patrons to show my appreciation for becoming sponsors. So thank you so much, and please join Saturdays. Noon at Eastern Standard Time and 9 in the morning LA. Finis Ronin, keep up the good work. Thank you, my friend. I'm trying. Kieran Whitefield, hi Constantine, what did your dad say to you? I basically told you, he taught me how to ride a bicycle. He was saying, look up and keep looking ahead. I still remember his words, and that's what I'm doing throughout my life. I keep looking ahead. This actually has helped me numerous times. I recommend everyone looks far way ahead. Okie dokie. Patrick Hogel, thank you so much for your support. Appreciate. Steve Smith again. Sorry, I mean Russian Mafia, we are Adidas. You would be welcomed in Australia. Oh, okay. Thank you. I see Australian dollars, so you're from down under. I was thinking. So I'm half Russian. I sell bunch of Adidas suits to Mafia, and I go down under because they don't like, Adidas suits somehow, and they put me down under. So that's not a good scenario, Jeffrey Cornish, thank you. Thank you for your... Whew. That's gonna be a funny stream, So what do you think of my message? Did you like it? A very unusual one for me because, it's not your facts, numbers, figures. It's not like black and white news. It's something very personal. And there's two dots connected in a very strange way, but I think I'm somewhat spot onto the things, Petros Mr. Petros, somehow I managed to follow up your stream from within the ship. Enjoy your Emirati dirham. Oh, 25 dirham. Thank you, my friend. I need them because I want to go back to Dubai. Within the ship. That's good. I'm not sure what ship. Are you a sailor? Brian Woods, howdy. Good to see you. Long time no see. Great analogy. Thanks for all of the insights. Thank you so much. Forgive me for my language. It's my tongue doesn't really listen to me much today. Jekyll N, thank you so much from Australia. As usual, your messages are very dry, but they're fantastic. Thank you so much. They're down, like straight to the point. Thank you. Okay. Lionel Slade, knowledge of brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you. That really, when I hear that, that's just makes me think, wow, it's a good thing I stayed up until 1 a.m. and prepared the stream instead of just going to bed and sleep. Thank you, Lionel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whew. James Riley. Hi from Shetland. I like that country, Shetland. Matt's fan, does anyone inside of Russia hear or see your stream? Few people, I hope not too many. The fewer Russians watch me, the safer I am, I guess. Because if Russians start watching me, then, by the way, there's a news today. I was greeted by my wife. Wonderful news. She said, should be worried now, and she sent me a link to a news saying that the Russian government now officially is allocating resources and units to start killing those oppositioners, people who are Russians abroad, who speak up against the government. Nice, good news. I all of a sudden feel 1000% safer. Michael Schultz, howdy. Thank you so much for the giving sponsorship to 5 people from me and from 5 people. Great to see you as always. Brian Struvig, thank you so much. Please remind me, South African, I think. Carson Larrymore, YouTube blogger, asked common Russian citizens and asked if they wish USSR returned. 90% say yes. Looks like some look in rear mirror more than what is ahead. Well, my analogy is it's not rear mirror, it's they're looking down below at the wheel turning, and the wheel is steering them. They don't steer the wheel. And the bicycle is analogy. The bicycle basically is the government, and the government steers people in any direction it wants to. This is crazy. I don't understand why it's happening. Why people just, pardon my language for this pretty harsh word, but why they're pissing away their lives, okay? I don't understand. Amanda, thank you so much. It's okay to take the day off tomorrow. You work so hard every day on bringing us factual and insightful content. Send in virtual soups and hugs. Soup and hugs. Thank you. Soup is taken. Hugs are taken. I'm sending you hugs back. Thank you so much. Rudy Kaisley, Professor K. Haha, all right. Once again, on your soapbox, we need to get you more listeners. Russia needs more bicycles and fewer tanks. Kevlar vests, worthy investments. Thank you, Rudy. Thank you. Great to see you every day. Thank you so much. Matt James, appreciate you. Constantine, thank you much for your support. Thank you. Sion, Hey, Mr. K, great message today once again. Very valuable one. Don't worry about skipping a stream. We understand. Focus on your health and wishing you quick recovery. Feel better soon. You know what? When I skip a stream, it actually hurts, believe it or not. I'm probably addicted. I don't feel right. I feel out of sorts. Even if I'm sick, I'm urged to get up. If I'm not completely like sick and laying down and sleeping, then I missed the stream then, but like a couple days ago. But today, okay, not 100%, but okay to get up and actually have energy now. Yesterday, towards the end of the stream, someone just like, opened the valve and let all the air out of the tire. I was like deflated. I didn't have any energy, but today is much better. Thank you. Airborne Snail, David Bauer, Amir, howdy. Myopia is real. Yeah, I have one actually, a real one. I know it's real. I can barely see without contacts. But you know what? I guess I have different eyes somewhere here that can see far away, far ahead. Good evening from Scotland. Howdy, Theodore. Lindsay P. from Cornwall, UK. Stefan Tauberg. Hello, everyone. EL, please look after yourself and your health. Your family and the rest of the world needs you too. Good people are important in today's world. Thank you so much. I mean, how can I be looking more than I'm looking right now? I don't know. I've taken some medicine. I'm drinking lots of hot liquids. Eating soup, but like, what else do? I slept quite a lot today. I think I know why I get sick every 3 months. Because my sleep schedule is so messed up. I try to sleep for a couple hours in the evening, then I wake up, I prepare the stream, then I stream, then I can't go straight to sleep after that because it's hard after the stream. I'll get excited, and then I go to bed between like 3:30 and 4:30, wake up at 9:30, and then every single day is like that. I think this is why I get sick so often, but that's okay. Petros, that American-born Russian fellow you mentioned somehow managed to return back into Plato's cave, which we call Russia. Plato would be flabbergasted. Petros, you're right. You can't really argue with you. I say this every day, but it's time for a coup d'etat. Mets fan. Point taken. I will leave it without comments. Okay, Down Under is all fine. Thank you so much, A. Cohen. Thank you, Laura Ambrosio, for your message. There's no words, but message is very strong. Thank you. Mods, I have not had a chance to get to the, to have a little talk with the Nightbot. I'm sorry. I'll try to do it yesterday. Constantine, get that Jaeger shot. I didn't get the Jaeger shot today. Actually, a friend of mine from Ukraine is visiting. And we drank whatchamacallit, Metaxa. Greek. Greek stuff is really good. The Greeks, they invented everything. Even the drinks. One of my most favorite movies is My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Oh, that's great. Ken Harris, howdy. Yeah, go to bed. Steve, not time to go to bed. I'll go to bed when I feel like it. Today, I'm still okay. Yesterday, I went to bed soon. Today, Airborne Snail, today $1 US was high as 75 rubles. I didn't even see that. But but somehow it always go down again. How do they do that? Selling gold and buying ruble. How long will that work? Disregard all of that. That's basically like stockbrokers selling off short, buying, treat ruble as stock because it's traded in the Russian stock exchange, ruble exchange, Mosbirja, or whatever, Russian exchange, currency exchange. It's gradually is going up, and it will continue to go up, but it will be around 75 rubles for a while because this is how they're making up what they lose in sales, exports of oil and natural gas. I will try to put it in the simple words right now for you. Hang on. Let me just take care of. Not the most visually aesthetic procedure. I apologize. So now look. Let's suppose $1 costs 50 rubles. And they sell stuff, well, oil and gas worth $1,000. That gives them 50,000 rubles. And that 50,000 rubles go to pay salaries of people I mentioned in the stream, teachers, doctors, police, army, and so forth. Now, they start selling short less of oil and less gas. But the prices, like the salaries, stay the same. They need to come up with the money to somehow pay the salaries. So what they do is they adjust the exchange rate. There are tools that Russian central bank can use to adjust the rate. And instead of 50, they go up high as 75. So instead of for $1,000 that they receive, instead of 50,000 rubles, they get 75,000 rubles. Okay, or if they sell less for $1,000, let's say for 750, if the exchange rate goes up, they still get 50,000 rubles, and that's why they manipulate the ruble. It's not fiat exchange anymore. Means it's not like freely traded in the market. If it was freely traded, let me tell you, dollar would cost 200 rubles right now. The government is influenced a great deal. It's using tools to control the exchange rate, and they just bring in the exchange up to get more rubles out of the same sales of natural gas to make up that catastrophe that is happening with oil and gas. That's why ruble is going up. Don't listen to all the clowns who are saying like a year ago, oh, look, Russian ruble is strong. Oh, Russian economy is great. It's actually Russian ruble was made strong, and it was not the best thing for the Russian economy back then. Okay, so this is what's happening. There are quite a few super chats. Thank you so much. Multidaki, great to see you. Thanks for the gift of 5 memberships. And Damien Da Silva. Once the West helps degrade Russian military, will Russian people blame us or Putin for their isolation and economic hardship? They might either way. I don't know. We'll see what happens. A big question for me to answer. The government will do everything. It'll jump, up high out of their trousers to make it blame for you, okay? But people actually might figure things out. Thank you, Damien, for another great question. KG1, what will happen when the bubble finally bursts and the people finally realize they have been misled? Another revolution? I don't know. I just tell you one thing. I hope that bubble will burst, because it hasn't burst so far. Petros, another support in Arabic dirham. I have a feeling that Russia shall collapse when the soldiers in the front shall turn their rifles towards the leaders, just like in World War One. Whoa! If that happens, Russian government would collapse in days. Let me tell you. But will it happen? That's the question. Ooh, Joseph Ramos, thank you so much. Just found your channel. Oh, so yeah, you're fresh, fresh off the boat, so to speak. Welcome to the channel. This is a great community. Great to see you. Great to have you. And let's engage. Love your insight and hope you stay safe. Can you talk today about Marina Yakunina's suicide and other senior officials' suicide? Is Putin cleansing or are people afraid? You actually believe that people were afraid and committed suicide and jumped out of the windows? Those who jump out of the windows in Russia, they don't misunderstand. They're now ordinary people. They're very wealthy. They're very well to do. They have tons of properties everywhere, all around the world. They are in the know, in the very heart of financial schemes of things. Why do you think that once the windows get open, this wind of change flows in, draft picks them up and kind of out of the window? Why? I think just out of the heck of it. Marina Yakunina is another victim of this trend, and of course, the death is purely accidental. I mean, what else would we think, But I actually made a stream. If you look back, I named the individuals who fell out of the windows, accidentally slipped or whatever, and pretty powerful, pretty successful, pretty rich people, some in the Forbes, like wealthiest people in the world type of thing, So thank you, Joseph. Look up that stream, I don't remember, like a month ago or something like that. Grace Philosophy, howdy, my friend. Inside Russia, my keyboard is living its own. My tongue is living its own today. Thank you. Best life and what I can do about it, nothing. If you feel like something's missing in my first message, you're right. I didn't even see your first message. I'm sorry. My prayers, I wish you a speedy recovery. Hugs to you and family. Well, I would like to hear about your new addition to the family. How's she doing? Again, congratulations one more time. Grace Philosophy is, in Russia we call it babushka twice. I huff and puff. Language is living life of its own. I huff and I puff. Thank you so much. Good morning from Oceania. In Russia we call it Okeania. I guess Oceania would be an English word. I like the pirate flag. Thank you. Sharpiter. Konstantin, ever heard about Inter-Slavic, a language that all Slavic languages speakers should be able to understand? I give it a shot and must say it holds what it promises. I speak German and Czech. Props. I've never heard of Inter-Slavic. And to be honest with you, I have no desire to learn it. But thanks for the heads up. Thanks for the support. And Black Cat, I was told you need a case of Kleenex. My bad. I do. I used through like 3 or 4 already the past few days, but I have a couple. But can always use Kleenex case. So I'm gonna look up if there are any super chats that I missed. Grace Philosophy, Lorna Mommy, Beautiful Souls. Thank you so much, Grace. Petros, we Greeks didn't invent everything. Russians like Mendeleev, Korolev, and Chizhevsky have done a lot as well. Chizhevsky is Greek ghost here. By the way, I have learned about Chizhevsky. Very interesting figure, and very controversial according to the Russian science. He went against academic establishment, and they basically destroyed him. They took away all his um, college degrees, all his achievements, medals, and so forth. Well, I think the guy is onto something, or was onto something, because I like what I read about him, and I liked it's like the basics of his theory. I liked it. Black Cat for a box of Kleenex, $5. Thank you. Needed. Thank you. There you go. Caller ID. Thank you so much for your support. And Kieran, out of the window, a lot of people can be falling out of the windows. Yeah. Pure coincidences, of course, And then all rich people who are in the know what happens with the gas money, where the bank accounts are, and what money goes into them, they just, things happen. Um, evil, evil Dali, has the ruble black market started exploding yet? It was kind of exploding when they forbade to for banks to sell cash dollars back in March and April. It was exploding then. Now it's not. There are no conditions for it to explode. You can buy American dollars in cash, and you're gonna pay lots of money for that. More than 75 rubles, more than the regular exchange rate. They take premium 10 rubles, I think. Andreas BMX, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. Linda Gordon, it's hard to look up or ahead when the leadership makes all decisions based on past centuries. I have your same cold. Get rest. Sorry to hear that. I think it's not hard. I disagree. I think it's up to you. You have mind of your own, no matter what. You have mind of your own, and you either use your head, use your mind, or you don't. Plain and simple. If you don't complain then. Oh, why we live so bad? Why we have bread lines? Why we have deficits and shortages? Well, should learn how to ride the bicycle in the right way at age 4. The Russian people must topple. Mets fan, thank you so much. Ovid Thompson, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. I bet you didn't get pseudoephedrine like I told you to, Galaxy Rider. Well, I didn't get pseudoephedrine. They didn't have it at the pharmacy. They said it's like everything that is ephedrine is a prescription drug. I got something else. Axel 2, thank you from Norway. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. I have a cold and I'm blowing my nose today too. Alex J. Brady. Sorry to hear that. That's a miserable time. But you know what? It's not gonna kill us. We'll get better. Borbula. Are there any Russian wives? Uh, oh my god. Wives. I was thinking like, well, there are. I have a favorite Russian wife. My wife. Wines. What is your favorite? No, I don't have any favorite Russian wines. They make good wines and then they try to cut the corners, so to speak, and they dilute it with water to get more output, and then it tastes like crap. So I don't like Russian wines that much, sorry. I'd prefer Australian, South African, Shiraz, I like very much. When I used to drink wines, I used to drink that. I like Italian wines, French, of course, Chilean, Californian, not such a huge fan, but, I like good wines. Just don't drink them anymore. Grace Philosophy, I got your first message. Hi, my dear friend, I sped up your speech to double, and I thought of myself, that sound almost as angry as I feel today. So I felt you, and I was vibing until I remembered. Okay, thank you. Why you feel angry today? Mikhail, if people were able to look further, they would have known what to do with Dzerzhinsky people after the fall of the USSR. Agreed. Taplusto, you should go to sauna to clean the lungs. Oh my god, they don't have saunas here in Tashkent. I would have gone every single day. No saunas in Tashkent, believe it or not. They just don't do that. Gosh. Upsetting. No saunas. My friend Eugene loves saunas. He came, the first thing he started do is poking his nose everywhere looking for saunas. No such luck. We didn't go to sauna. He says, come to visit me in Kazakhstan and Astana. We have great banyas there, great saunas. That's where I need to go. Otrivin Compass works with which running nose. And Larson, thank you. I'm using Tizin or something. It actually works well, but it starts wearing off, as you see. I can't use it more than twice a day. Petros, howdy again. Chizhevsky was chased by Stalin because he theorized that revolutions and wars happen during solar cycles. Yes. I learned, and Stalin misinterpreted the theory of sun as the cause of the wars and revolutions. I read about that. Yes, Chizhevsky was onto something, let me tell you. Steve Smith, your perspective like Gosplan is very good. Something we don't hear much about. Thank you so very much. Taking our eyes off the bicycle's front wheel. What do you see post-Putin? I was talking to my friend about that today. Look, that's what might happen. Russia loses, and there are two ways. Russia can keep the regime, but the regime will be kept. Putin, or perhaps someone after Putin, most likely. And living standard will be low, and Russia will be isolated like a huge island, and basically will be outcast for a long time. It would be just kept there, the distance from everyone. Another scenario is that Russia will break up in violent wars, local wars. There'll be civil wars, and there'll be lots of blood. It's actually not a good scenario. Sooner or later, there will be one force that will unite all these breakaway parts, and that's going to be evil force, and that's going to be based on blood, on death, and it's going to pose threat, and it's going to wage a revenge onto the Western world. So the second version, the second outcome, possible outcome, is not that great. So Janice Hendrickson, that's what I think. Are there any shipping carriers that can connect Westerners to their Russian friends and relatives? For me, it's easy. Not Western Union. Gosh, what's this? The Postal Service in America. Not Western Union, but that's for money. I forgot. The yellow envelopes and everything, Expensive ones. Overnight deliveries, that stuff. It has I have an office right next door to my apartment, but to send something out of Uzbekistan to Uzbekistan is like $200. Grace philosophy. Thanks, my daughter and family are doing great. The baby was born February. Well, I remember. Uh, I don't feel comfortable writing the name. No problem. Please see Patreon. I wrote you letters earlier today. Please read with Natasha. Thank you so much. I slept most of the day. I didn't get to read, but I will. The weekend is coming. Damien da Silva, thank you. What exactly do you mean by Carthago delenda est? I do agree, but it was also very brutal Roman attack on Carthaginians. Just curious. Well, I don't want any brutal attack on anyone, but I'm just saying that Carthago is gonna fall. That's basically it, you know. Treat it any way you like it. But I think you know what I mean. Is it Carthago delenda est time? Let's finish the stream. I thank you so much. Actually, although it's difficult physically for me, but it's been good. You know, mentally it's very good. Thank you so much for coming, giving me a chance, and we have quite a few people in the chat. Thank you for all the support, for nice words, for feedback and questions. Questions are always food for thought. I answer them, but I also learn something from every question that you ask me. So thank you so very much. Please join me in prayer. As usual, at the end of the stream. Thank you so much. Let's do it. Dear God, thank you so much for everything you have given to us. Thank you for this life, for this day, for this week. Thank you for food that you put on our tables, roofs that you put over our heads. Thank you for people that you surround us with who love us and who we love. Please help our children, keep them safe and healthy. Give us wisdom to raise them the way that they will make this place a better world and will not ever fight with each other in wars. Will not be engaged in any wars. And please give our children safe skies for all their lives. Dear God, please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. And all of us, we keep asking you every single day, and we're asking again, please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Please reach out to people who can make that decision and influence them in a way that you know how to. So they open their eyes and they get horrified and they finally get feelings about this whole catastrophe and they make this decision to stop. Please help all people in Ukraine who have been affected, answer their prayers, make their wishes come true. Send them angels, so the angels help with their hurt feelings, with their recoveries, with soothing their souls, and keep them away from harm's way. Please help my country, Russia. Send the army of strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael, to get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country. Make angels run Russia. Make it right, make it good, make it peaceful. Thank you for everyone who is helping Ukrainians. God bless those people. Help those who are traveling. Please send them safe travels. Please help those who are seeking refuge and asylum. Send help their way too. Help those who are hungry, jobless, homeless, struggling with their faith, sick, depressed, not feeling well. Please send them your love. Send them angels to help and surround them with warmth. Show them your miracles. Please help everyone who is in Ukraine without electricity, hot and cold water and heat. Send help in different forms, in the forms that you know, in forms of people who know how to fix things, in forms of money, in forms of heaters, in forms of just the way you know. Please help them. Please send us all safe and peaceful skies. There are two things that are the most important in our lives. our children, their health and safety, and peaceful skies above our heads. We only understand how important they are when we lose them, these things, and please give our children, keep them safe and healthy, and put give us peaceful skies for all of us. Would like to ask for to help all women who are pregnant and deciding whether to keep their babies or not. Please reach out and talk to them. So whisper into their ears so they make the right choice, please. Thank you for this community. Thank you for putting us all together and allowing us to pray every single day. Thank you so much for that. Please help everyone who is praying along right now and or just watching us pray. Make everyone wish come true and every prayer heard and answered. Also, please help those who are not feeling well. There are quite a few people on the stream right now. Please give speedy recovery to everyone. Thank you. I would like to ask for help for some people. They are Wayne, Shirley, Debbie, Jen Allen, Finola, Lars Henrik's mother, the Highwayman, Essie from the Scottish Isles, Amanda, Outlander and family, Chorice and family, David Porter, his wife, daughter, and all people in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Lars, Susan Marshall, Beulah, Buzz Simon, Alvin's mother and Alvin's sister, Teresa D., Marsha Tucker, Garcia Castellanos, Terry Carter, Joe McMahon, Meta Spencer, Diana and family, Breeze friend, Albina Fell, Michael Yukon, Karine Wasser, Life, Pamela J., Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Galina, Igor, Karen from Maine, Jamie, Michael Milkowitz, Marlene, Paul Bintz, Richard, Mallory, Dirk, James, Terry, Brittany S., Lars Henrik, Hannah and children, Richard Burris, Angelic at Life, and Scan's family grandson, Grace, Barb, Randolph, Nelly, Arkady, and Yuri, and everyone in Mykolaiv, Ukraine. Harry's family, Verlinda's niece, Ian James, Doug, Rafaela From, Anna, Priscilla, Michelin, King Nero, Gaby Hyman, Donald, Deborah, Lisa's son, Jade, Allison Dave Moyers, Maureen M. and her sister, Mr. Hanson, Heidi, Bob, Tony, Kayleen, Rob, Umel, Jennifer, Matt, Ashley and family, Mr. Dean Spooner, his church, Our Savior Lutheran Church, Lisa Kumrian, Jacob, Adam Oliver, Treasure, Kyle's wife, Grace Philosophy, her family and her grandchildren, Maggie, Carmen's sister, Vladislav, and his father, Sergey, Susie, Gina, Wayfarer, AMS Paramedics, Liz, Lori, Miles' husband, Sherry, Layla, Philip's mother, and the children. I'd like to ask about specifically their Cadence, Maverick, Sebastian, Coulter, Theo, Maddie, Ansley, to your old niece of Karine Vasser, all children who have been affected in Ukraine and in Russia. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for everything. Amen. My friends, thank you again for coming, for supporting me today, for listening. Thank you so much. You are absolutely awesome and you rock. Come back tomorrow if I do the stream. I'm not sure, 50-50. And on Sunday, I will do my best making another message. I think I'll feel much better on Sunday. Carthago delenda est.